Wide one. Hello, good night.
Good night.
Me make some dinner.
Oh, just come off of work, so me not have that privilege there yet.
Cause do not add nobody. Do not add nobody. Where are you, much? Do not add nobody.
Ay.
So yes about the dinner now.
So something that me do at evening time. So much should have to be off of this. Um, like advice and HR relays. Yeah. Um, Hello, everybody. Good evening, one and all. Thanks for joining. All who are joining, thanks for coming on. As you saw where I posted the topic that I will be looking at this evening, it will be on minimum wage act, and I will be outlining minimum wage act, and also I will be looking at disciplinary procedures within an organization as well. So I'm just waiting for a few other persons to join, then we can commence the discussion regarding what will be happening. All right. Because I sent out the notification that I will be going live at 7:30. However, it's a couple minutes before 7:30, so we'll go further in. Again, I am a human resource personnel. I am also training that area. I work for an organization as a human employee relations supervisor currently, and I'm working on my business, human resource advisor. That business is geared to doing interview preparation, resume writings, and also for organization where they can consult with me to do their disciplinary meetings and hearing. So that is what I do and what I'm all about. Hey Washi, how you doing? Thanks for joining, Washi. So alright. You know, I also have other platforms that I post on as well, which I be utilizing much more frequently, and they all goes by the name human resource advisor. Once you type in that information, it's the same person that is on that page. So you will see me on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook as well. Those are the platforms that I'm currently using at the moment. All right. So a lot of person would aware of minimum wage, and a lot of person should have known what minimum wage is, but I'm going to take the gospel that you don't know what is minimum wage. And minimum wage means any national minimum rate of wages fixed in provided in respect of the particular occupation, followed by the person concerned and applicable to that person. So minimum wage is what is set by the country for a person to get paid, not less than, but that's the bottom line, that a person or individual employee within an organization can be paid. You should not be paid less than the minimum wage. Currently, the minimum wage stands at 15,000 Jamaican dollars per week. And that is what every organization should be paid their staff, not below. Not meaning that is what the set salary every staff or every organization should be getting, but the salary that you should not be earning less than per week. And when you look at $15,000 per week, is $375 per hour for a 40-week period. All right, so you go to work for 5 days per week, 2 days off, and it's a 40-hour work week period. That is what you should be paid for that period. You heard me mention about national minimum wage. When I speak of national minimum wage, it means any minimum wage fixed as a national minimum wage, and the effective minimum wage that was goes into effect as of June 1st, 2024, where you earned $15,000 per week. All right. So employers who fails to pay minimum wage, they can be sanctioned. What I mean by being sanctioned, they could be dragged. It's not could. They can be brought before the court of law. So they are not above the law. So anybody that is paying you below minimum wage, there are steps and procedures. There are steps and there are steps and procedures. I'm not bald, but anyway, I don't even know who is that online. But anyway, there are steps and procedures in how to go ahead and do it. All right. So if you're employed with any organization and you are being paid less than the minimum wage, what you need to do is to notify the Ministry of Labor in your area. They will assist you in getting justice. However, also you can take the matter to the resident magistrate court in your area. That is where the business operate, because I know sometimes persons work in other jurisdiction. Say for instance, I might work in St. Catherine, however, I lived in Kingston. So what that means, you would have to take the proceedings to where the work is, where you're employed. So that is where you will go out and take out the summons and so forth. So any employer who fails to pay the minimum wage can be brought to the RM court on a summary conviction. All right, a summary conviction is an offense which is resolved without a jury or indictment. In respect of each offense, an employer can be charged up to $100,000. All right, so when your employer go ahead and doesn't pay you for the service, you can they can be found up to $100,000 in the court of law. On conviction of an employee under the provision, the court may by a Jew considered to declare to be true, and the employer convicted to pay in addition to any penalty such sum as it appears to be the court to be due to the person employed on the account of wages calculated on the basis of minimum wage. All right. Is there any questions regarding to what I've just spoken about and you're quite unaware of what I am saying? Because I want each person here to be able to know, understand the law, because we are interpreting the law. And so I don't want, my service here is to let persons know their rights within a workspace and within an organization. All right. Great, not nice. Glad you're following and understanding. All right. When employer has been convicted for failing to pay minimum wage, not less than the minimum wage, to any worker, the notice of intention has to be served at least 7 days before the hearing of information. All right. So everybody knows now, once they are employed, they should not be getting less than $15,000 per week. They can go to their Ministry of Labor in their area where they will get assistance. If that is not a remedy, they also can go into the court and they will be summoned for those persons, and the employer will have to make those payments. An employer, as I stated before, can be convicted, and when convicted, they can pay up to $100,000 in the court for not paying their employer the full amount that they are supposed to be paid. All right. That doesn't mean that workplace won't be paying you more than $15,000 per week, but that's the minimum, the lowest in Jamaica that you can be paid. Thank you, Net TV. If you're good evening. If you're working with a company for over 4 years, are you to be paid some off? Finish that statement, Stephen, then we could look at it. All right. I also have something that has been brought to my attention, that a person has been employed with a particular organization for quite a number of years, say probably 3 years or more. However, that employer have decided that they are going to put that person on probation. A comment here, not nice. Let me pin that comment. I will get back to it, not nice. Let me just finish with what I was saying. And the manager of the organization has stated that they will be placing the person on a probationary period. A person who is employed within an organization for quite a number of time should not be placed on a probation. Probation is when you start the work and you are on your 3 months probation. However, what can be done is a PIP, the acronym PIP. So it's a performance improvement plan. This is where the person will be evaluated each going season based on the work that he or she does, if it is meeting the standard based on his or her job description. At the end, during that period, though, the PIP, remember I'll be using the quotation, the acronym, the PIP, that person, however, cannot be terminated during the PIP series. All right. What can be done is based on the company's policy. That person can be summoned or sanctioned based on the company policy. So, for instance, if you fail to carry out your duty, what does the company policy state? What does the company handbook state then? You should be getting a verbal first, I'm not saying that particular company, that is how it's operate. That is how it's operate. But first, you should be getting a written or no, a recorded verbal based on the company policy, because some company, based on each offense, they doesn't have to take that route. But based on the company's policy, that is how that person should be sanctioned. All right, not based on how the company or the organization feel at that given moment. And remember, during your performance improvement plan, you cannot be terminated. A suggested time frame and everything should be given to the individual to state, okay, Madam Brown, you will be placed on a PIP and you're expected to increase in such areas of concern, whether you're not greeting the guests properly, whether you're not doing what you're supposed to do based on your job description. That is how you will be evaluated. And then the policy of the company will take step. So so that is what you're supposed to do. No company should go ahead after being employed with a company for over a number of years, go ahead and see that they are going to put you on a probation. All right, hope that clears that up. I pinned a comment a while ago. I'm looking back for it. Seems like the person. Okay, not nice. Good evening. I have one good question. What am I required after dismissal after being employed for 5 years? All right, not nice. It depends on what contract you are on. Understand? Some persons who are contracted would not have a lot of benefits to get from an organization. But typically to say, 2 weeks notice pay since you're in your 5-year period, whatever vacation period that you haven't used, that is what you should be paid. All right, good. So I hope that clears that up for you. Not nice. So your 2 weeks notice pay, once they terminate your service, that's what you should be getting. All right, let me see what other comments. This person who intends to retire write a letter with a notice of intent or resignation. So pink hibiscus and moscato, is it that you're of the age of retirement, or you're seeking medical retirement or something? What type of retirement are you seeking? Because if you're retiring based on age, it's your time to go home, then there's no need for it to resign. It should be your retirement. All right, so based on that, so it has to do with what surrounds the situation at hand. All right, so you know that sometimes, and just to piggyback after the probationary period PIP evaluation situation a while ago, there are persons at time that might have issue at work, and there are policies and procedures in going ahead before a person can be terminated or a person is dismissed from an organization. So for some, based on your company policies, I'm going to state, remember, please keep in tune with your company policy. All right, the first stage of any disciplinary procedures is that the matter will be reported based on the chain of your organization. All right, so whether it will be mentioned to your manager, your supervisor, or whoever is in charge, they will be the first persons who will try to so those are the procedures Coming to you, Natoya. You're my namesake, though. Coming to you. So persons who are being employed to a company, they will have to speak with their superiors first. They will try to solve the problem that they're having with the line staff. However, if that has not been dealt with, or the person, the accused or the claimant or the complainant thinks that the situation is not handled properly, then it is going to go to the manager, and then if it's not dealt with properly, it will come to the HR department within an organization. And if you still feel that there's no justice, then you will take it external to the Ministry of Labor to get that handled. All right. So those are how you handle procedure. For instance, based on your company policy, it states that fighting, for example, is a offense that requires termination. What will happen, and it is proven that yes, you indeed fight, yes, you also cause problems regarding fighting on the job. What will happen, you will have a hearing. You will have your representative from your department, whether your manager, when they're coming to the meeting. And however, before you go that, you will be taken off duty by some organization. However, you must be paid while you're off duty, while you're doing their investigation in the matter. After taking off duty, you will be getting a notice of hearing. A notice of hearing should be served to a person within 48 hours. So if, for instance, the notice of hearing is not served to you within 48 hours, that means it's not really valid. So the notice of hearing should be served, and with the time, place, and everything, the time of the hearing and everything should be in it when you are going to do. Then you will have your department heads, the HR representative, the chairperson who will be chairing the meeting, the investigative officer who went ahead and investigate the matter. You will be tried, per se, like you're in a court of law. Then after coming to conclude, the meeting is finished, because you will be given a chance to speak, to say what happened in the meeting. So once you go in, if you have witnesses with you, please notify them once you get your letter to attend the hearing. Please notify them, and that you will be carrying. If you have representatives, somebody to represent you, like a person who you will allow to speak on your behalf, please bring them along with you. There's no reason for you to give up your rights, but you need to go ahead and let them know. So right through that process, after that, the hearing has been concluded. What will happen next is they will go ahead and deliberate, and your decision, a date will be set for you to come back for your sanction. Whether it's or not you will be found guilty of being fighting based on investigation, based on your explanation, based on the charges, or whatever policy is deemed as termination, because some actions that is done in the workplace is definitely termination for them. So that is how it should be handled. All right, and then you will return for your letter, and it will tell you if you are terminated. At that time, in your sanction letter, your termination letter, it will advise you of the payments that you're going to get. If you have vacation periods, all those should be in the letter to notify you. All right, so I do hope that persons now understand what is expected when they are called to a disciplinary hearing. All right. If a person resignation at 9 years, what should the person get not reaching 10 years? All right. So that is Share who I just got distracted a bit. Share. So that person should be getting three. That I distract me. Come here about myself. So that person should be getting at least 3 weeks pay, because it's almost 10 years, not 10. Should be getting 3 weeks pay for their time coming off the duty or whatever. Yes, so that is what you should be getting. Sure. I just got distracted a bit. Good night, Ruthie. All right. How about your boss not paying your salary since August and not paying taxes? What you mean you haven't gotten any salary since August? Any at all? I just seen that question. Jada Irish. And how is your salary supposed to be paid on a weekly or monthly basis? Because, and what was said to you why you're still there and not getting a salary, Jada? Is it a commission work that you're doing? What? Is it a fixed salary that you get per month? How do you manage to continue going to work? Regarding paying your taxes don't have to be paid on a monthly basis, but some companies do it, pay it on a monthly basis. Some person do it on a monthly basis. Reason being, it is far more inexpensive than to find the bulk of it at the end of the year to pay over when they are doing the payment for deduction. All right, so that's how some person. But even though it is being paid on a monthly basis, most time it would not be reflected until the final SO2 for the end of the year is submitted by your payroll department. They will be able to see that, okay, that person has been paying such and such dollars for the period, for that time that they are employed. All right, so Hartley, good night. If a person is dismissed at 6 months, are there any benefits to get? Yes. Whatever, so you earn after 22 days, you earn 1 vacation day. So probably roughly about 3 vacation days pay you will have. Whatever time that you have worked up to that time when you're dismissed, that is what you are supposed to get. I have worked with organization. It's not law who have paid you for your sick days as well, but it's not law. So not all organization will go ahead and do that, pay you for your unused sick days. All right. Ann Lee, the company is, however, responsible for it. Responsible for what? Ann Lee. Let me go up further. Taxes are supposed to be paid on a monthly basis. It attracts the interest. Yes, it does. But some person opt to do it at the end of the year. While I was at an organization where I do payroll, I paid it over on a monthly basis. But however you can, but you will have to pay the fines for it. So I do it on a monthly basis, and then I do the SO2 as well when I was in working as a payroll officer. Are you still employed with that company, Natoya? because it has been 3 years and no NIS is on the system when I went to the Ministry of Labor. Yes, a lot of companies has deduct your payment. Unfortunately, some of them have not gone ahead and make the necessary payments. So what you need to do is let them know. Some of them is going to take it harshly, but it needs to be looked in, it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be fixed. All right, we can talk off the air of how it should be fixed. I was told that we are not supposed to get weak in the back. Is that so? All right, depending on company's policy. Some company, when you start working, they have a salary that they put as weak in the back. Upon leaving the organization, you're supposed to be paid that money. Some organization, they just outrightly pay you for the time that you're doing. From the day you commence, you work from the first to the first to the 25th. That is the salary that you're getting. No pay in the back. So you're supposed to be getting that. So it depends on your company policy, Miss Dixon. Lati, what are the requirements as a company when a team member is out for a couple of months? Because of what, Lati? Because the person can be sick for months. Chronic illness. Alright, you're entitled to your sick days for the year. 14 sick days for the year. However, if you gone ahead and use up those sick days, what will happen is that you are sending in your medical stating that you're unfit for work. You are not supposed to be terminated, but you will not be paid for the sick days. Alright, you will not be paid for those sick days once you have exhausted your sick days, that is by law. Alright, however, it depended. However, some company won't keep you on, especially if you're on probationary period. It's in your 3 months, because within the 3 months you can be terminated based on performance or any other thing based on that, because it will be shown that you're unfit for the job. Alright, let me try to follow up back on Miss Dixon. I was told that you're not supposed to get or reach in the back. How do you go about a disrespectful manager that the boss don't see anything wrong with? Is there an HR department at your company? Because HR should go ahead and address that situation. That could be deemed, it depends on what the situation, what is the circumstances, why she or she disrespectful to you, because it could be something that is of a grievance matter and HR will need to handle that to deal with the grievance. Or if it's just a disciplinary meeting, then HR should go ahead and deal with it. As I stated before, if you are in a situation and it's within line staff, the line staff will now go ahead and bring it to the supervisor, and the supervisor take it to the manager. But it's with your manager, and so it should be handled by your HR department. With that being said, it's not some companies, it is by law, Sweet Pine, that sick days are not. If you were here on my previous lives, I would have already stated that you don't earn your sick days paid. You don't earn your paid sick days until after serving your 90 days, and then your sick days is 21 days to start. You earn now 1 sick days after. So if you were here previously, I would have stated that information, Sweet Pine. Unfortunately, Natoya, there is no law that governs how long you should be a temp or a contracted worker. So hence, employees will go ahead and use that. So if there's no law, you can be employed with an organization for as long as it may be. Alright, because there's no law that govern it. Yes, I see Marisha responded and stated, oh, it should be 6 months. It's not a guarantee that it should be 6 months. Organization will put persons on, take them off temporary and put them as contracted permanent staff, but that is not by law. Some organization handle things differently once they are doing it in the legal frame of mind. All right. No, Lati. No, it's not true that when you go on an interview, you're entitled to get your fare back. No, that is not so. So, as I told you, some organization will do things a bit differently. Practice once they are doing. I've known persons, Marisha, that has been in government for years and are not permanent. So, and being in that field, I'm aware of it, that persons are not, but there's no law that stipulates that you have to be a permanent staff within 6 months. There's no law stating that. All right. So that I was looking on procedures, because even when you're okay, right, because it's not all government organization that do that. So I'm just speaking from law, but if you're getting something from your company, that aligns with the law that governs the employment, then fine, or even above it, because it's fine. The law is there to guide the company to ensure that persons are not treated unfairly. But however, if they are being treated in, say, more gracefully than what the law stipulated, take it as a gospel and enjoy, but it's not by law. There's no rules to say that the company, the customer is always right, Lottie. There's no rule to say that. However, I think it's a old folk tradition that has been passed down, but the different eras, it has been shown that it's not all the time that customers are always right. It's not all the time. But it's as a customer service rep, it's actually stated that you should be respectful and manageable to your customers, but that doesn't mean that they are right in doing certain things. All right. Thank you, Georgina. Sabrina, thanks for the support. Okay, Marisha, see you state that. Yes. Are there any other questions? I know persons I've grown up in that era when persons states that he's when person states that the customer is always right. It's not always the case that the customer is always right. All right, it's not always the case. Sorry about that. I was engaged a while ago. All right. Also remember that I have other platforms that I will be posting on actively. Human Resource Advisor on all platforms. You Soldier RM, Soldier IHR. What do you mean by that, Adrian? Just I've been a bit distracted tonight. And previous weeks I've also spoken about probationary period is 3 months and so forth. Those are discussions that I have had before, which you should aware. You are entitled your earner vacation days. After 90 days, 22 days counting, you will start earning a 1 day vacation for each 22 days that is served. Those are some of what I have gone ahead and discuss. Also, let me see what I'll catch my brain again. I know what other stuff I've gone ahead and discussed throughout the time. All right, so also I was speaking earlier before I move on about dismissal. Within your dismissal letter, it should state the reason for your dismissal, whether it what was the dismissal for. One more question: if you're entitled to 2 days off per week and you get suspension, what happened, Miss Dixon, if you're entitled for the two day off per week and you get suspension? All right, say for instance, the company, it depends on the company. If the company operate on a 7-day basis and So your day off is on Saturday and Sunday. Your suspension starts Friday. They will count it as your suspension. So fortunately for you, depending on when the suspension is issued, you would be getting just 1 day out of it. However, if it's in the week, like a Monday, which you require, and your suspension is issued Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you won't be getting paid, because once you're on suspension, you won't be paid for those days any at all. All right. Hope that's clarify your information. So it's all based on sometimes how the business operates, and but if it's a Monday to Friday situation, it's completely different. So it all depends on how the business operates. All right, Miss Dixon. So your dismissal letter should have certain parts in it. The reason why you're dismissed, that should be included, and reference to when you're invited to the hearing, if it's a straight termination procedure. All right. So if it's not like you have been an assessment before, because some offenses that you commit in the work field is not straight. Some organization that you're employed in is not straight termination. So you will be getting a verbal, you will be getting a written, you will be getting a suspension, and then it can lead up to termination. If it's that you committed the same offense that you have been sanctioned for before. So once you're being sanctioned for the same offense on numerous occasions, it can lead to termination regarding that. All right. So not because some things are so petty, you're going to take it and say, okay, I can sit and do this. But it can have an impact, and it can lead up to termination. But you will have to get a recorded verbal warning written and continue the train regarding the same. But if, however, it's a straight termination based on the company's policy, for example, I've used fighting and also intimidation, and it can be proven, then it's termination based on your company policies, whatever they have as a termination offense, then you will be terminated right away without going through the steps that is required previously. Pink Hibiscus, one last question for me. Go ahead. Hi, Nikki. How are you?
Hello, good night.
Good night.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Want to play a match?
Not at the moment. In a session at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Um, Hi, Dave. Good to have you here. Any other question? I'm waiting on Pink Hibiscus with a question. She asked, saying that she have one last question, and then I will address that. So a lot of persons working doesn't know their rights, and I'm just address as well. You can go ahead and shoot me an email, my business email, and I will be able to assist you as much as possible. And we can go on from there and have discussion regarding. Katie, you're entitled for your vacation on a yearly basis. However, if you agree with the company to go ahead and not take your vacation, what this means, it could either be that you're going to take the money for it, you can take the money for it, and then your vacation will be null for that. Say, for instance, for the year 2021, you work and you decide that, okay, I want to be compensated for my vacation time without taking it, then you can be compensated without the vacation time at that time. However, it would you won't have that vacation period because you would already taken your pay. However, if the company requires you to work and not compensate you, then that is something quite different. That's a whole different ball game there and a whole different can of worms. But you are entitled for your vacation after work, after every 22 days earned after coming off probation. However, 52 weeks you're entitled for your 2 weeks vacation. All right? No problem. You can go ahead and send me the email in the morning. I will be glad to assist at that time. Yes, electrician Dave. In So let me just go ahead and recap what I've spoken about. I've spoken about the Minimum Wage Act. The Minimum Wage Act is how much a person is supposed to be paid within a country. Our country being Jamaica is $15,000 per week. No organization should be paying anybody below $15,000 per week. Natoya, my email is human resource advisor 3@gmail.com. So it's my handle name, all lowercase is my handle name, 3@gmail.com. That is my email address. All right. So
Poor man.
the minimum wage, as I was doing a recap of what is happening. So effective June 1st, 2024, the minimum wage has been moved from the previous amount of $13,000 to now per week to now $15,000 per week, which is equivalent to $375 per 40-hour work week. No employer should be paying their worker less than that amount per week for their service. All right. The other topic that I've gone ahead and looked at is performance improvement plan, which is known as PIP. And when it comes on to persons not performing within their organization based on their job scope, and that is how a company can put you on a performance evaluation plan. And I also stated during that time you cannot be terminated. However, after not completing, you can be given a written, verbal, or suspension based on the company's policy. The company cannot go ahead and rightly terminate you just like that without you being sanctioned across the line for it first. All right. So that's the other topic that I've discussed. I also spoke about the disciplinary procedures when it comes on to an organization, is that matter should be handled with your supervisor before it's been escalated to your manager and then to the human resource department. However, if the human resource department fails, or you think that they fails to do their job, you can now bring the matter externally to the Ministry of Labor. They will take it from there and handle the situation for you to get justice for whatever situation that you have. So those are the channels that's supposed to be taken within an organization to go ahead and handle any challenges within the organization. I also stated that my service that I offer is resume writing, preparation for interviews, which I do. You can email me at humanresourceadvisor3@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to offer my service at that time, and we will discuss. For organization also, I'm available. Most of that would have been done out of my 9 to 5 though, but I'm available to do it for organization to conduct disciplinary proceedings and hearings for the company. Is there any other questions or any information that anybody else need before we signed off for the evening? Did I miss anybody question? Anybody question any at all? I will advise you as well. It's one set fee. There's a proposal. I will send that to you as well. And my business number as well is 897-8390. That's 897-8390. And we could have discussion regarding Natoya, my namesake. All right. If anybody can tell me, I'm going to ask a question from what we had discussion about, that I spoke about. When has the new minimum wage take effect? You will be able to get a prize. The first person who comment that information, I will be giving you a prize. All right, that's correct. If you might discuss DM me, and I will take it from there. All right, so if there's nothing else, any questions or any further information, I will be taking my leave for the night. It was good having you on my page tonight. Human Resource Advisor. I normally go live and every Tuesday at 7:30. So this is where you can find me every Tuesday commencing at 7:30. And I will be more than, if you have any topics that you want me to discuss, feel free to DM me as well, and I will come ready to discuss that topic with you on my platform. So with that being said, I'll be taking my leave. I do hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you all for making the Human Resource Advisor. Have yourself a good night.